I've got an idea!
Hey guys, John here.
Joe's here.
And this is...
Yankee Blokes.
That's right. Welcome to our podcast and vlog, I guess, because we're going to be putting this in places where
We
you can
are a
see
multimedia format entertainment conglomerate.
Ooh.
some floppy.
Always keep it floppy.
Little floppy coaster.
No, you don't want it
No,
floppy.
that's. I think you're on
That's
the...
why our beer has got ice in it.
Yes, I
It's
think...
got to stay hard.
These
Edit.
these innuendos that Joe keeps on coming up with, and I keep looking down. Because we have
Oh,
our
the
new,
conjecture.
we posted a picture of our setup on Instagram a little while ago, and we have a screen right there.
It's like there.
So I keep looking down at myself.
We have like...
Oh, man down. Party foul.
And we're back.
We're back. You got a new beer.
I have refreshed my refreshment.
Well, that's good. Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
What are we drinking today, Joe?
We are drinking Harp Lager. This is a imported from Ireland lager. St. James Gate, Dublin is where it's from.
It's part of the Guinness family.
It is part of the Guinness family.
it's pretty good, actually.
And what do you know? Guinness glasses. I really like that.
I'm missing part of my S on my glass.
That's okay. You probably drank it. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good lager in a good long time, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I was looking for something a little bit lighter. I do love Guinness. Love Guinness
I
to
like the
death.
stouts, the darker beers.
But I was looking for something a little lighter since it's getting a little warmer out. Not today, you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
Today
it's a little gloomy outside. We've got a little extra lighting in the studio, so it kind of offsets that a little bit. But enough with the semantics.
Anyhow, so today's topic, and as well as an explanation of who we are and what we do and what we know. Not a lot, but we pretend to.
We're a master of none and a practitioner of all. We'll say that.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate, yeah. A little bit about a lot of things, but not a lot about any one thing.
So, a little bit about who we are.
Yeah, John, why don't you start?
Originally born and raised here in, well, actually not born. I take that back. Actually born in another country and came here when
You were born in another country?
I was born in another country. We came here when I was 4 years old.
Are you Canadian?
It's yes.
Montrealian?
Something like that. We'll go with.
Are you Ontarian?
We'll go with other.
I really don't know if he's from Canada. I
Yeah,
just thought that was the closest one. He speaks fluent English.
I was 4 years old when I came here, and
Wow, okay.
so I don't speak much of my native tongue. I understand it. I'm actually from the Middle East.
Really?
I am. Yes.
Little facts that I didn't
See,
even know.
little things we're going to learn about each other as this
Wow,
progresses.
it's an exploration of
That's right.
identity.
That's right. Yes.
Thank God, because I am lost right now.
Yeah. So,
What's your background, John? What kind of things have brought you to podcasting and streaming and videoing and gaming and
yeah.
easy with the Igor hands? Okay, we don't want to start a fire.
We don't want to.
We don't want another.
I come from the tech industry, a little bit of IT programming side of things, and transitioned into media, advertising, and video editing. And that's
Nice.
what brought me here for the most part.
Very good, very good. And I think you've got another YouTube channel, don't you?
We do. It's more of a family-friendly thing than this will possibly.
This is good. This allows us to explore our more adult side of life.
Yes. Welcome to an adult conversation, which I don't have regularly. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Not that this is going to be a foul mouth party going.
No. But we are going to talk
bleep
about
fest, but
adult content.
yes, it's going to be stuff that we don't get to talk about because there's always somebody walking right up in between you, be it a pet or a child, interrupting your every move. So,
Usually the case. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
So. Adult conversations are nice to have every once in a while, especially for somebody like myself who works from home, and all I get to talk to is my kids until the evening when my wife gets home.
You do have a cat as well, right?
I do, but I try not to talk to him because I'm not that crazy guy.
Oh, yeah. My dog tries to talk to me, but I tell him to stop trying. It just, and then I find myself talking to him in turn, and it's bad. So I just put them outside so I can get my sanity back.
Yeah, I could see that. How about you, Joe?
Anyway,
what brought you
I'm
here?
actually a kind of more of a country spun boy from the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa. I don't mind saying that. I'm proud of that heritage. And I came out here following career moves and whatever, and spent many years in public service work. And this is more of just an interest for me. I just dabble a lot with computers, technology, gadgets, and that kind of thing. And John and I both have littles that are in the same elementary school class. We met on pickup days and whatnot when it was Dad's turn, and one thing led to another, and here we are coalescing on a project together. So
yeah, this is more of a hobby thing to do on the side.
But that's what's going to keep it fun.
Exactly.
Because we're not under any pressure or deadlines or anything like that. We're doing this because it's for us.
Right. I mean, we're here to share our little bit of knowledge and experiences with you dudes and dudettes out there. But for the most part, this is more of a relaxed, unwind, and be ourselves type of scenario where we can talk about literally whatever the crap we want to. And we're going to try to keep it clean for the most part. But like we said, we're still going to include some adult content as far as a conversation goes. And beer.
It happens.
And beer. I mean, how often do I get to drink beer at work? I don't, because I've got work.
I definitely don't.
You definitely don't. No, that would be looked down upon.
I definitely don't get to do anything but work at work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I work at home, too.
Since I do work from home, I can drink a beer, but I think that I would be less productive if I did so.
John doesn't answer to the man. Totally digging that.
He's the man.
Yeah. It's private.
Okay.
That's a private part.
Private.
Oh, wait. You drink to that. Oh, sure, why not? Prost.
That's really good. I really like that one.
Yeah, it's not bad, dude. It's really good outside with a barbecue, sitting by the pool. Very, very nice.
Yeah,
very clean, clean beer.
So a quick segue into what we're going to talk about today. We both like to go about our personal jaunts to different stores and different, I guess you could say, man haunts. We've found that we run into some issues with some of the people that work at these places.
That's an understatement. I mean, how many times have you dudes and dudettes out there been into a store, any store, pick any freaking store, even a grocery store for that matter, and went up and asked somebody, I'm not talking about a manager, I'm talking about just somebody on the floor, either a stock person or a person that's supposed to be able to answer a question for you, and gotten it's on the side of the box.
I'm already getting upset.
That's not an answer. I mean, let's be honest. If I'm looking to go read the side of the box, why the crap am I asking you?
Yeah. If I hear one more person at a store tell me to, you can find it on Google, okay? If I wanted to find it on
Thanks,
Google, I
Captain
wouldn't have put
Obvious.
my happy ass in my truck and drove to the store to find somebody who's face-to-face going to tell me something in a little more realistic fashion. I could have done that on my phone in your parking lot, idiot.
No, and that's exactly it. It's really frustrating when you go to a store and you're looking for more information than you want to go and research. Because if you're going to go research it, then why bother doing that in the first place? However, you probably should have researched it because you're not getting the answer you want at the store.
It's
going to be rare that you do.
And one thing I've learned in my nearly 50 years of life, and I'm crawling up close. I'll be 48 this year. I'm just throwing that out there, getting it out of the way right away, you know.
Right.
But is that sometimes almost every time that you're trying to acquire information from another person, you have about 80% of bullshit and about 20% of usable information. And
wow, you're giving it that high of a percentage. That's fantastic.
Well, I'm just keeping it real, homie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But so that 20%, it's going to be something different for everybody, okay? Because everybody, we may both go into Lowe's to be building a shed for our home in our backyard. But he may be looking for something different as far as information, maybe he wants to know, I got everything else down. I know what tools I need. I just want to find out what's the best roofing material for this part of the country. And, it's not going to be rainy or anything. I just need something that's going to cover it and keep the sun out, whatever. He doesn't know that stuff. That's what he's asking on me. I'm going to go in there and say, I know what to put on there for a roof because I've lived here all my life, or I know what siding to put up. I know what kind of insulation to use, but I got no idea what tools to use.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
So when we go in there, his 20% of usable information is going to be entirely different from mine. And the issue comes up when you end up running into the 17-year-old kid who's there working part-time, and he gives you the 1,000-yard stare at 100 feet. When you say, how much insulation do I need?
Yeah, and then what type of insulation do I need? What R rating do I need?
Let me check with my manager. Yeah, just wait right here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find yourself seeing the caption below the screen that says 2 hours later. And then here comes John and he's like, oh, dude, I totally forgot about you. Yeah, no shit, Junior. Okay, I'm still sitting here waiting to get insulated.
Yeah, I mean, you remember these stories. This is a story that I brought up a while ago, and I kind of reiterate it again. This is take 2, by the way, of this video. We tried it the first time. We took some notes, and we're redoing this.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
But it's turning out better, quite honestly, because we have better setup and everything. Anyway,
better
I
setup,
digress.
better format. Yeah,
I digress.
Yeah.
The point being is there was this store. A lot of you guys have heard of it, and a lot of you guys have seen the signs still around, and some of you guys have experienced their closure, unfortunately. It's the store called Radio Shack. You've been there numerous times.
Moment of silence for Radio Shack.
Oh. Prost. So
Terrible loss, that Radio Shack.
they had it coming, unfortunately, because of their changes, which was unfortunate.
Those who fail to change with the times are doomed to perish by it.
Yeah, that's a fact. So Radio Shack many, many years ago, if I wanted to wire, say, an LED in my car, when a switch turned on, the LED would turn on. Older cars, obviously, that you could mess with and do stuff with if you're going to hook up a trailer light or whatever it is you're going to do to have an
Go ahead.
That was like a 5.5.
Hey, we're just getting started, man.
We are just getting started.
All right. Somebody's got to break the ice.
This is true. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Oh, by the
Ice
way,
is broken.
we rate things like this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important that we stop and take that moment.
Well, otherwise,
Very important.
Yeah, everybody says that it's got to stop and smell the roses. You also got to stop and burp every once in a while.
Yeah.
Fart too if
Are
you
we
really need to.
Thank you. I was just going to ask, are we going to allow for that?
Yeah, why the crap not?
Fantastic, because I got severe digestive issues at my
Yeah, just don't
stage
shit your
in life.
pants. Just try not to do that, all right?
That's bad.
Well, I mean, it's not bad. It's just...
I brought extras in my...
Oh, then you're good. You're
Okay.
fine. Yeah,
Right.
if he craps himself...
You've got that really cool
We don't have
toilet that
smell-o-vision.
washes your butthole, too.
We do, yeah. We don't have
so
smell-o-vision,
cool.
so you all are lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
This-
he's really the
this
one that
went-
shits his pants. I don't.
Yeah, this went down a really dark hole.
He said, dark hole. Well played. Anyway,
Back to our little story. What I was getting at was that you went to these stores and you're looking to wire something like that. The guy behind the counter or the guy even stocking the shelves could not only tell you what to buy, diodes wide, capacitors wide, all that good stuff. He would draw you a diagram.
yes.
He would sell you all the parts you need, and he would draw you a diagram if you didn't know what you were doing. And you would go home and you would solder it all together, and guess what? It worked.
And you know what? This guy could do it on a damn napkin if that's all you had in your pocket.
And that's what he
okay?
did for me. He literally drew it on a freaking napkin.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being is they died because they started losing revenue because of that. Maybe they were hiring guys that were a little too expensive, so they started hiring again the 17-year-old that didn't know much about electrical engineering.
No.
So they weren't able to answer those questions. You had to go home and do your research and figure that stuff out. Luckily, there are tons of forums and places where you can go and research that stuff online, but you have to do that before you go into those types of stores, especially if you go into a Fry's now.
Yeah. And, you know, Fry's is the same way. In fact, over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, you know, I would go to Fry's every weekend because I was building computers. I was doing that on the side for a business. And those guys, even 10 years ago, still knew what they were doing. And then, oh, yeah, I know this part. They knew product lines. They knew chipsets. They knew connectors. They knew it. They knew everything. You could walk in there. That's kind of how I started learning how to build computers. But, you know, like Radio Shack, when they started figuring out, their own methodology for keeping staff became their own undoing. Just like Radio Shack. Because the same guys that would go home and they would learn this stuff on their own realized, I can go home and learn this stuff on my own.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, Amazon, Newegg, Tiger Direct, they're all taking off because, not that I'm throwing a plug in there, but these are businesses that thrive because of this and the boom of the internet sales. So, when people started learning how to do that stuff on their own, why do I need to drive my happy ass down to the store so that...
no, exactly.
Let me talk to my manager.
Yeah, no one wanted that answer anymore.
No,
it got really
tired of hearing about it.
I mean, same thing. Speaking of Lowe's, we were just talking about them just a minute ago. It's the same thing at Lowe's. If I went in to go get plumbing parts, and they showed me all the parts I needed. This is somebody that I had a bit of respect for, actually, at the store that I've seen numerous times, that I felt knew what they were doing. They sold me all these parts. I followed the instructions to the T of how to assemble this particular piece of plumbing. It's these new types of fittings that we're going with. Anyway, point being is the fitting blew after using the glue he sold me, the pipe he sold me, and the fitting he sold me. Under my basic pressure in the house, the fitting blew. I did my research and found the fitting I actually needed was literally 10 spots down on that same aisle. And that would have saved me from a mini flood in my home.
So do you feel like he kind of turned around when you asked him the question? He looked at the shelf and said, there's some glue, there's a fitting, and there's everything he needs. You go.
After the fact, yes, because originally I thought, okay, cool, this guy showed me all the stuff I needed. I don't need to go any further. I can just
So you
buy
became
it at face
a
value.
victim of car salesmanship.
Very much so, yes. Yes, this car will do everything.
I'm sorry to hear that, but it's just, it is what it is.
It is, and that's every freaking store at this point. So I'm not going to say, I can't say that actually. It's probably not every store. I'm sure there are still mom and pops out there that are happy to answer your questions, that know exactly what they're doing. And there are those shops out there still. However, a majority of stores that you and I shop at, and probably a lot of you dudes and dudettes out there shop at, are like this, where you have to, if you want to save yourself the headache, you have to go onto some type of forum and get an answer before you go and do your shopping.
But the one thing I did learn from that is that knowledge that I went out and found on my own, I kept a lot better. Because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because maybe it has something to do with being, a predominantly visual learner. I've got to see something. I've got to, I've got to handle it. I got to put it together, to remember how it was done and why it was done a certain way.
Right. Why was this in particular part?
The method is just as important as the item itself,
Right. That's a fact. I mean, I totally see that. Yeah, you're right. I do tend to retain a lot more of the information. A lot of it's useless knowledge because I'll never use it again, but it's still stuck in my head.
Yeah.
If I had read it first myself and researched that information first myself, then if I went to get the information from somebody else and just said, okay, this will work. Not knowing why it will work.
To keep our audience universal, this is coming from two guys who like to go hands-on and get stuff, put stuff together and make things work and whatnot. But this is universally applicable, okay? I mean, like, take for instance my daughter. I've got a 19-year-old daughter, and she had no idea how to learn photography, but I got her a camera for Christmas because she was very motivated. She taught herself photography. She even interned with one of the premier wedding photographers here in a local area, and it was all because she went hands-on, and she learned quick. You learn much quicker by going hands-on. And if you think you're going to do anything and learn anything without messing a few things up, you're not learning until you mess up, okay? You keep messing up, then the next time you mess up a different way. But every time you're checking boxes off saying, don't do that next time, don't do that next time. And pretty soon you find something that works and you circle it and say, that's the one that works.
Right, yes. I read somewhere a while back, this is not my quote or anything, it's not how much you know, it's how much you're willing to fail. And how wrong you actually are, because you can be really, really wrong or a little bit less wrong the next time, and a little bit less wrong the next time, and a little bit less wrong the next time. And what you end up with may work, but it may also be able to be done a better way. So that could also be wrong, but it's less wrong than what you first started off with, right?
You got to break a few eggs to make a really good cake.
Yeah, well, we've got all kinds of sayings today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, where are we going to next?
But anyway, to come back around to Radio Shack, just to close that portion of it up, is, Radio Shack ended up, closing because they just couldn't provide the service to back their products. It's like walking into AutoZone and having the guy behind the counter saying, well, I can tutor your kid in his math, but I can't tell you anything about the car that took him to school. You know, I mean, that's the same problem. You know, unless
Right.
you've got a skill set to go with, you know, to go with the product, you're not gonna sell any product. You're gonna end up like Radio Shack.
You know what store just actually surprised the crap out of me? Actually, we used to go to them a lot in Washington. It was the Guitar Center. Guitar Center. Not everybody knows everything there, right? Everybody has a little bit of knowledge about different things.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy I spoke to, I needed some help with this beat pad, his little thing we got for my son to record audio and make different sounds, and he can make different beats.
It's like a sequencer, yeah.
Right. So I didn't know how to set it up. That was better. That was like a 6.25.
They even kind of held that back a little bit.
Yeah. So it kind of like carried it through. It's pretty good.
Well, I at some point I felt like I was being rude, so you know, this is a gentleman's podcast.
Shut the fuck up.
Shutting the fuck up. You put it on the emblem. I didn't.
No, you know. It's clickbait.
I have a problem. It's clickbait.
Yeah, well, our logo might be a little clickbait. We're gentlemen.
So the sequencer, my bad. Okay.
We're gentlemen-ish.
Ish.
Sequencer. So I go in and ask this guy a question, and he starts picking his nose. Not the guy at the store, Joe here. I mean, no, I go into the store and ask a question about the sequencer, and he goes, "Hey, come back at this time. This gentleman by the name of whatever, he can help you better." I'm like, okay, that sounds reasonable enough. He's all, but bring your beat pad and bring your laptop. I'm all, what do you mean? He's all, he'll set it all up for you. I'm all, how much does that cost? He's all, no, he'll just do it for you.
See, that to me is worth, if I'm looking at two products, okay?
What the crap?
And I'm looking at one for $129.99, and I'm looking at one for $259.99, and essentially the same thing, just the expensive one has a little more bells and whistles.
Right.
If I've got that service to go with it,
oh yeah,
I'm going to spend more money.
No, and that's the
Because
that's
you
the
know what?
funny
He's
part.
also going to know how to use those extra features, and I'm going to find out I actually just got a deal.
Well, that's the funny part. We ended up buying the beat pad from Guitar Center probably about 6 months prior for him, and I couldn't figure out. There's like multiple pieces of software you have to sync up, and it's a lot more tricky to me at least than it sounds. And I'm pretty damn good with software. I like to think so at least. Anyways, we always check prices. Does anybody not check prices anymore? I always check on Amazon. First place I look.
You know, and even the person who was not that discriminating with price checking,
Right.
they're going to check because
It's
there's
easy.
so many places to buy the same thing.
It's easy to check. You
Yeah.
literally pull your phone out of
Now-
your pocket, our little mini computers
Now,
that
I'm
we
going
have
to tell
now.
you that if, you know, I'm an Amazon Prime member, so, you know, if I see
same.
the same thing on Amazon and there's a difference of like $2 or $3 and it's like a $100 item,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Prime.
Me too, because of the return policy.
Well, the return policy, and not only that, but I don't know if you've heard, they're going to single-day shipping.
Yes.
Buy it today, get it tomorrow.
Which a lot of stuff that we've ordered, including this band that I got for my watch.
I noticed that. You
I-
got a new band. I thought it was a new watch.
I ordered it the day before yesterday. I got it yesterday.
What kind of watch are you wearing, sir?
Oh, just a little Fitbit. It was a little cheapy Fitbit. What about you?
I've got the Samsung Gear Fit Pro 2. It is the...
He's all specific and crap.
It's because I haven't had it that long and it's still
okay.
new to me.
He still
okay?
likes it. He still likes it.
But it does
I'll
everything.
eventually
I
get
can
one.
answer my phone as long as I have my phone to answer, and I can do my text messages and emails and all that stuff.
I get those on here, but I can't check them. I can see it scroll through.
Yeah,
That's
when it
about
pops up, it'll show me like a notification,
Yeah,
and I can
right.
see it then. But I
Right.
can't go like, oh, there's my email. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was getting at was,
Sorry.
no worries, was the fact that on Amazon, it was literally $1 difference in price. So for that $1, because Guitar Center seems to match Amazon pricing fairly well. They do their shopping.
I'm finding a lot of brick and mortars are doing that now.
And that's a good thing because that's going to keep them around a lot longer, quite honestly.
There's just something about going to the store. I like being able to pull it off the shelf
Yeah.
and look at it and manipulate it and try to figure out, is this something that's going to work for me? And, because sometimes, that like when I went to go look for my laptop, I
Right.
really wanted the 17-inch because I got increasingly bad eyes and I wanted the bigger screen.
Right. He's
But I
old.
looked at them side by
happens.
side.
So you looked at them side by side
And
with your one good eye. He's going to kill me before this is over.
The fool and his buddy are soon parted.
Oh man, I make myself laugh, and that's all that matters.
Suck it easy, buddy.
Suck it easy.
Sucking it easy.
All right.
Anyway,
so you're looking at two.
Yeah, and it just, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to be sitting on the couch for this thing. The 17-inch is too big. I couldn't deal with. The 15-inch is the absolute perfect balance between everything. Because I haven't shared this with you, but I had huge computer setups with lots of pretty lights and hard drives and fans galore, and it was just if you were to look up excess in the technology dictionary, it had a picture of my office. Okay, it was awful.
It's actually just a picture of him. He's over exaggerating.
Suck it easy. Anyway, so we bought a new house, and I've given up my office. Spent too much time in there. I was either at work or I was at home doing my hobby / side business, and so now I've gone completely portable. And the 15-inch was the perfect thing. But back to brick and mortar. You're not going to get that online.
No, and that's the one thing that since Amazon kind of took off years ago, right? And now it's flying like a bat out of hell.
They've been around Mars twice now.
They have.
They have.
It's pretty freaking gnarly.
Yeah.
Point being is,
I think Elon Musk owns them.
Yeah. I feel like a Best Buy is going to be the next one of those stores to go, right? It's the last one of those tech stores. I think there's other ones out on the other coasts, but I know Best Buy is across the country. Other countries, I don't know what you guys have as far as tech stores go.
Do you remember Circuit City?
I do remember.
I loved Circuit City.
I liked the Good Guys better.
No, see, Good Guys was already dying out when I moved here. Okay,
yeah.
This was back in 2000, and it wasn't until like 2005 when I started really getting into gadgets, electronics, and all that, to where I could, fund my habit. I'm a tech nerd, and I have a problem.
Much. So yeah, I liked Circuit City too. I've always liked Best Buy only because of their layout. As far as the store goes, Circuit City was fairly similar to it. The one we had here in town, this is the city I grew up in for the most part, smelled really bad.
It smelled like dank water, like the ceiling had leaked for years, and the carpet was saturated. It was it did. It had a very I bet they had black mold. Too bad they're not still around. We could sue them.
They probably did. That's exactly what it smelled. The store smelled like freaking old mildew. It was pretty like, is there new mildew?
It's like going into your grandma's basement.
Yeah, it was pretty rancid. But anyway, point being is I've always liked Best Buy, and I think that if they were wise, and this is just a small tidbit of business advice for Amazon, and I don't think Jeff Bezos is listening, nor is anybody else that's important.
But his wife's listening. I'm sorry, ex-wife.
If they bought Best Buy and used it for their showroom and pickup locations, they would thrive even more so. Because right now, Best Buy carries and mimics pricing from Amazon. A lot of people go to brick and mortar stores specifically for that, just to window browse, and then they'll go order it online. A lot of people do. I know a lot of people that do this. Maybe not a lot of people you might know, but I know a lot of people I know do this exact thing. They'll go and look at the item, and they'll just end up ordering it online. It's just easier for them.
When I go to make a big purchase, especially TV, laptop, whatever, I'm in the store 5, 6, 7 times, looking at everything. And part of that problem is that products move so fast that, by the time you get to time number 4 or time number 5, new products are in there, and you've got to start your whole process all over again.
Either that, or the process you're looking at, or the product you're looking at has dropped drastically in price. And you're like, "Yep, grab it."
This is true. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that would make a really good business sense, because could you imagine going?
I would wholeheartedly agree, and I'd be amiss if I said that I hadn't thought about that myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a fantastic. I think Amazon should have opened up brick and mortars a while ago. They used to have brick and mortars all over the place, but they were just bookstores, because that's what Amazon started off as a bookstore. They were just sold books.
You know what they could do is, because every month, they always have the Amazon's Choice. Say like we're looking at these microphones, okay?
Right.
And we go through the list of cardioid microphones, and we see this one, and it's got Amazon's Choice in black with orange lettering.
Right.
Okay? Say like every month, they go through and they only display in the brick and mortar what Amazon's Choice is, but they give you a whole entire like lounge that you can sit down with computers and order your Amazon stuff and have it delivered to that store.
Yeah, that would be fantastic because it'd be a you can eliminate a lot of personnel from the store for knowledge because you're doing the same thing that you'd be doing at home, but now you have a physical product in front of you that you can actually test out and compare to another product.
Now you would be now. Don't take that wrong, okay? Because I know where he's going with this. It wouldn't actually eliminate personnel. All it's going to do is it's going to take over Best Buy and eliminate some of the Best Buy sales personnel.
That's what I'm talking about.
But what it's going to do is it's going to give Amazon personnel a place to go, and they don't have to shop. They're there as just showroom maintenance to change out products that are on display and everything.
Or the tech guy, just to make sure if a computer crashes or something like that.
And you know
That's
what? If they find, and they may find that
I'm telling you, Amazon, this is a good idea. You know it.
I would agree.
I don't even need credit. Just do it.
Yeah, really, strictly for our convenience.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I have a selfish endeavor with this.
Yeah, of course.
So, but if you were to do that,
Duh.
I mean, not only that, but maybe we could start revisiting that whole drone delivery system. Because now you can have Best Buy that has a small showroom in the front, turn that huge store into more of a storeroom to store more products, and then you could have these drones delivering this stuff locally.
Yeah, you could. You could. So you'd have like
puts it within the realm of possibility.
So you could have sub DCs. So in my driveway here, we ordered a recording studio. So this is not going to be our permanent space. We're going to be building it, or I'm going to be building, and Joe's going to come over and help out.
On my days off from slaving with the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So between my work hours from editing video here at home, I'm going to be building a studio right over here, probably about 50 feet, maybe 75 feet that way. And
if you could visualize this, it's down a hallway, through a living room, and straight through a solid wall.
Yes, you're going to pass through a solid wall.
And
we're going to have another portal there. No, don't worry about the reference. Point being is...
Wait a second, that's a good idea.
So point being is I'm going to be doing a time lapse of that. I'm going to be posting it. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We're going to be posting that on YouTube and on Instagram and on Twitter as well. Probably doing a story or something along those lines. And he's just jacking up the headphones.
Well, mine wasn't working.
Sorry.
I'm so vain, I wanted to hear myself.
This is very true. He likes to listen to himself talk a lot.
I'm the only one who will listen.
That's true. Yeah,
I hate you.
No one else does.
You've been listening to me for at least 20 minutes, okay?
I've actually muted your mic, so...
Oh, okay, so he's having a conversation with himself. Who's crazy now?
Well, I didn't say I wasn't crazy. On many levels of crazy.
But this is just a functional level of crazy.
That's
okay?
right.
If you can't get crazy, you don't know the boundaries of sanity.
This is a fact. So, a little late in the game here, but a little bit more about ourselves. We're kind of going to be speaking about a bunch of different topics as far as this podcast goes. Obviously, today we talked about different stores and how customer service has been for us, or not been for that matter. But we're going to be bringing up other topics such as...
We'll probably talk about some tech stuff. We can't help it. That's kind of what brought us together.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're going to be bringing up quite a bit of tech, especially when new things drop, like this, the what do you call it? The Samsung Fold.
I've got a whole lot to say about that.
I do too, but I'm going to wait till they do their R&D and they do their full release, because they put it on hold and it's not going to get released.
Well, to bring you guys up to speed on that, okay? You know, there's the everlasting battle between Android and Apple phones, okay? I'm an Android user. He's an Apple user. You know, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that Samsung decided to jump into the foray of trying to lead the technology race and bring out the Samsung Fold, which is a folding Android phone. It opens up, it looks like a tablet, but
the screen actually folds. It's not just a folding flip phone. It's a physical folding screen. It's pretty cool. The concept.
The concept is cool. And a few knockoff Korean and Chinese makers have tried this before at, I want to say it was Computex. They had a few of these off-brands.
Yeah, I have too.
And they all kind of summate the same way. It's a fragile design that has a long way to be perfected.
The technology will advance. I mean, just like anything else, technology is going to advance, and we're going to see a working foldable screen eventually, or they'll just pass it up and go, this is just really not a viable option, an unnecessary one at that.
I would like to take a moment and thank Samsung for doing what they did, though, because what they did is they went out on a limb. They took this cutting edge technology and they put it in the hands of versed people who know what they're talking about. They've established themselves in the tech community and they know what they're talking about.
For those that actually hate on the technology, that think this is lame, blah blah blah, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. So I think you're right. Samsung did a fantastic job in their initial, I'm going to say, prototype-ish implement. This is supposed to be a release.
They did an exposed test marketing is what they did. Right,
exactly. It's a beta.
Yeah,
their version of a beta, basically.
Right, and there's a lot of people poo-pooing the whole thing and the whole design and everything, and that's fine. But Samsung was prepared to take that. I mean, they lived through the battery fiasco and all that, and so they're like, you know, what have we got to lose? At least we're going to know, and everybody's going to know what was wrong with it, so that when we fix it, they're going to know what's right with it.
Right.
And I totally see the reasoning behind that. Hello, Apple.
Oh Lord, don't even get me started. Look, let me rephrase that. I was a huge Apple fanatic.
iMac.
You see the Macs behind me?
iPhone.
The reason why I
MacBook
won't
Pro.
change this is because I can't see
iPod.
spending another $1,000 on a phone right now when this one works perfectly fine. That is going to be a future topic, by the way. Things that are perfectly fine. Why do we keep upgrading? That's going to be coming up soon. That might be the next topic, as a matter of fact.
I actually think that's a fantastic next topic.
Anyways, dudes and dudettes out there, I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and I really hope you guys come back for our second episode.
We are going to have a second episode. We are going to endeavor ever so greatly to work around my full-time work schedule and get a weekly podcast out to you, okay?
Yeah, we're going to attempt this once a week.
And you know, knock on wood. Yeah.
And
life does get in the way. We're both married with children.
Yes. So if we do get delayed a day or two, that's going to be the reasoning why. But for the most part, we are going to strive for once a week. And if you guys did like this, if you guys could give us a thumbs up or a heart or whatever medium that we happen to be on, and follow us on social media as well. You can check us out at Yankee Blokes on Twitter and on Instagram, as well as Facebook, I believe.
And eventually, YouTube.
The YouTube channel is already set up, and this video will actually be posted on there.
It will be posted on there. Now, we are also going to be doing this as just a regular audio podcast. We want you to be able to enjoy this content while you're traveling to and from work.
Right.
And God forbid you're doing it in Southern California in traffic jams every morning, but it would make the time go by faster.
Quite a bit, yeah. my wife had to drive 3 hours yesterday to Torrance, and oh my God, she absolutely hated it there and back. Actually, actually not even to Torrance.
Did you greet her at the door with a beer?
San Pedro. No, with dinner.
Oh, that's
with
even
dinner.
better.
Yeah, I made her dinner.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Is it about lunchtime?
No, it's my day off. It's my turn to cook.
It's not cooking time yet.
I know, but it is time to go to the store and figure out what it is. Anyway, I'm Joe.
I'm John.
This is the Yankee Blokes. Thanks for joining us. And who knows, maybe one of these times we'll do a live cast.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Y'all take care.
Take it easy, guys. Water like the cologne. That shit's disgusting.
That's because you can still get it at Ross.
Oh, yeah. I think you can still buy it at the freaking actual department stores.
And those of you not familiar with Ross, this is where everybody dumps their... It's no longer an item that is sold actively. Yeah. We had extras. One leg is shorter than the other.
Supreme.
These headphones sometimes work. You know, ironically, that's where I got my last set of headphones. I got these headphones that are kind of like these. They're JVCs, and I went with the name, but I got them for $10.
Oh, you can't
and I thought, and they were at Ross.
Yeah.
And They worked pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, but it's kind of like anything else. Until you experience something better,
Right.
you don't realize how bad they are.
You don't realize what you
Yeah.
don't have.
Thus, my new purchase today.
Right, exactly.
The Sony headphones. I love them.
Yeah, they sound pretty good.
Freaking bitching. What are you talking about?
Pretty pitching, man.
Bitching, bro.
Pretty pitching. Oh, I just noticed that if you go high pitch on or too high volume on there, the green light turns red.
Ow.
You see it turn red?
Yeah, stop yelling.
Oh, yeah, it's when you start
That's
yelling.
the angry light.
Yeah, it's like
If you see the
knock
angry
it-
light come
knock
on,
it the fuck off.
it's don't cast angry.
No, you're supposed to speak like this with your sexy bedtime voice.
That's something I don't want to take home with me.
You already did. It's already stuck in your head, and it'll be there forever.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Uh-huh.
Stop it.